Hello everyone, this is James Fong. Um, Today I would like to talk about the Cambodian tax. Uh, you know, um, Cambodia is a very fast-growing developing country. So in the past few years, the GDP was like more than 6 and 7% per year. So so a lot of people asking about how I can invest in Cambodia. Is there any risk? So what's the as an accountant? What's the tax looks like? Is it totally different than um, the China, or totally different than the United States, or it's similar? So I'd say it's similar, yeah. But there are lots of special things that you should be very careful. So this is me. I'm had a few CPA certificates. Also, I've learned Cambodian tax in Cambodian school. I'm the top score last year. So I think my knowledge should be very updated. But if you are willing to have more discussion with me or have more questions, you can talk to me through my Facebook or WeChat. You're always welcome. So let's take a look at the, all different kind of taxations in Cambodia. So the first one is tax on income. In some other countries, they call it profit tax, corporate income tax. It's the same thing. So for TOI, tax on income, um, here we are basically talking about corporate. Um, so for residents, you're gonna pay for your income sourced from domestic and offshore. But if you are a non-resident, but you are considered as a PE in Cambodia, the permanent establishment, you can also pay for your income from Cambodia. So the tax rate is different for QIP. The qualified investment project, you pay zero. It's exempt. But in order to have a QIP approved, you're gonna apply to the government. There are the different kind of threshold for different industries. But anyway, QIP is a good thing. But later on, when we talked about withholding tax, um, we would know that for any dividend we take from a QIP, um, we're still gonna pay the withholding tax. Um, so regularly it's 20%, and for other different industries like oil, gas, timber, mineral, gold, the tax rate is 30%. And for non-life insurance, it's like 5% based on the premium. Um, okay, so there are some deductible items and non-deductible items. We're gonna talk about that later. And next one is very specific for Cambodia. It's called prepayment of tax on income, PTOI. So which is 1% based on your monthly revenue, and by the end of the tax year, it's gonna be offset with minimum tax, which is also 1%. So long story in short, you're gonna pay 1% based on your revenue, um, although you are making loss for the year. So that means you are paying 1% of your revenue as your profit tax anyway. Okay, even you are making loss on your business. So that's very specialized on Cambodia tax. Although for QIP you don't have to pay that. It's exempt for QIP. And for withholding tax, which is also a very special tax for Cambodia, because there are lots of small taxpayers. Some of them are individuals, and lots of them are unregistered individual taxpayers or small business. So they don't have accounting system, and the tax department don't have the system to monitor the business activities. So that the big companies, I mean the official ones, when they are paying those small business, or they are paying those individuals, you're gonna withhold tax from the total transaction amount, right? So it's there are also different tax rate for non-fixed items, non-fixed term interest from the bank, a local bank, to be specific, 4%. And for fixed term interest from local bank, 6%. For rental, movable property, and immovable properties, for those rentals, you're going to pay 10%. And for the interest you are paying to an individual or a non-financial institution, you're going to pay 15%. And for royalties, you're going to also pay 15%. And for non-registered tax receivers, you're going to pay 15% for the service you rendered. So this has to be very, very careful, because it's very easily that you didn't mention it very clear in the contract with your vendor, and it is also possible that you didn't withhold. If not, you're gonna still pay for it, and the extra withholding tax you paid is not deductible from property tax, from profit tax perspective. And for non-resident, the withholding tax is flat, which is 14%. It's basically for the dividend, and royalty, rentals, those we mentioned, but especially for a dividend. If you don't have any, your country don't have any DTA with Cambodia, you're going to pay 14% withholding tax. Okay, and for VAT, the domestic VAT is 10%, I think, which is okay comparing with other countries. And for export, 0% VAT. Okay, and you gotta be very careful on your VAT invoice, because there are very specific requirements on the layout, on the items on your VAT invoice. If there's anything that the tax bureau cannot recognize or unqualified, you can lose the input VAT. So you're gonna be very careful on your VAT invoice. Okay, and for tax of salary, okay, it's from 0% to 20% by the escalating tax rate. Maximum $3,125. If you are over that, everything goes 20%. And for non-resident, the TOS is flat. It's 20% for everything everything sourced from Cambodia. Okay. And there's one thing that um, you should be careful, because we in our books, or everything, every all the activities is actually measured by US dollar in Cambodia. But when you are paying tax in Cambodia, you should translate all the tax amount from US dollar to local currency, which is Cambodian reals. It is about $1 to 4,000 Cambodian reals. Okay. And for next one is free benefit tax. Basically, it includes lots of cash and non-cash benefit you get from your employer, but you should be very careful on that, because there are too many benefits that you should pay free benefit tax in Cambodia. And in a lot of cases, all your employees should get the same or similar benefit. Otherwise, you can pay for the free benefit tax. If you didn't pay for it, the company should pay on behalf of the employee. That means the cost goes to the company, and the FBT is not deductible from profit tax perspective. Okay. And then we got some small taxations like special tax. This is basically for the airline ticket, entertainment service, cigarette, beverage, international telecom, and beers, those alcohols, based on different product. And then the PLT, the public lighting tax, because there was the history, because there was short of powers in the past, so the government charged an extra tax from the business, from the economy, which is 3% based on the supply value, includes alcohol and cigarette. So when you calculate special tax and public lighting tax, the tax base is the same, which is without the VAT and without ST, without PLT. Okay, so this should be very careful. And then we got accommodation tax. This is basically for hotel business, including hotel, motel, large guest house, different kind of housing business, hotel business, and this is 2% based on the value. Okay, and then there's the property tax. It's 0.1% if your land plus your building value is over $25,000. Okay, so if the value is below that amount, you don't have to pay anything. If you are above that amount, okay, your total value less $25,000, then multiple by 0.1%. Then we got a registration tax. This is like the stamp duty tax. Okay, so it's based on the transfer of your asset. For immovable property, like your land, your housing, you're gonna pay 4%. And for share transfer, if it's listed, you don't have to pay anything. But if it's private M&A, you can pay 0.1%. Okay, based on the transfer value. And for the cars transfer, you're gonna pay 4%. And for government purchase contract, you're gonna pay 0.1%. Okay, and also there are some legal document, administration document, So those are based on a fixed amount per year, based on your uh, different documents. Okay, and for tax on unused land, that's 2% based on your land value, and actually okay, and then for vehicle tax, tax on transportation, and then we got patent tax. So for patent tax certificate, you're gonna, if you have different kind of business under one company, you're gonna purchase different kind of patent tax, and tax bureau gonna give the GDT gonna give you a certificate. You're gonna hang it on your front door to make sure the officers recognize you've paid everything. Okay, then we got a tax on property rental. If the lessor is an individual, and this tax is based on 10% based on the gross rental value. Okay, and for slaughter tax, if you are killing animals, you are in the business, you're gonna pay for it. Okay, there's no capital gain tax. It's similar like Hong Kong. For individuals, you don't have to pay the capital gain or capital loss. There's no such kind of comprehensive tax return system like in the United States. Okay, so for the corporation, of course, capital gain is in the profit tax. It's already there. Okay, and okay, so that's basically the different kind of tax in Cambodia. So we're gonna pay attention to the prepayment of profit tax, because you're gonna pay 1% of your revenue. Even you are making loss in Cambodia, so you're gonna pay for it anyway, and you're gonna pay for it every month. Okay, and next one is the withholding tax. So don't forget to withhold tax when you are purchasing, or when you are rendering service from individuals, or be very careful. You're gonna withhold tax, otherwise you're gonna pay for it, and it's a non-deductible item. Okay, and for VAT, be careful about the VAT invoice. Okay, and we gotta make sure when we should pay withholding tax, and when we should pay VAT tax. This is very confusing, but we're gonna talk about it later. Okay, then for the other tax, I think it's pretty easier, and we can benchmark those tax with our existing tax system in China or United States. And the conception is very straightforward. Okay. So now we are gonna talk about the penalty. So in Cambodia, the GDT it's very powerful. So they can charge like 10% if you are having the ordinary negligence, or 25% if that seems like serious. And if there's any obstructions, fraud, or criminal, they're gonna charge you 40% penalty, and they're gonna charge you fines. They have the power to put you in prison in 1 year, but historically they didn't do that. But you're gonna pay a lot of money if you don't pay attention to the tax law. And of course, GDT has very they can assess lots of items. So we better make sure we are doing it correctly, and we're doing everything we could, based on the law. Okay, I think that's it. It's about 20 minutes, so I think that's a good start. Okay, so if you want to discuss more or know more about Cambodian tax, yeah, you can talk to me by Facebook or WeChat. You're always welcome. Thank you. Bye bye.